Good morning, everyone. Kate Bohr and Fiona Pearman joining you for this week's Facebook Live, where we're continuing the conversation of reflecting on the year that was and just making some decisions around boundaries, preserving our capacity, our sanity at this time of year. And I think what's unusual about December is there's a lot going on personally and professionally. The stakes kind of go up in terms of the volume of professional and personal activity, whether that's commitments, outcomes the organizations are wanting to achieve, or social activity personally. There's a lot more demands on us at this time of year. And equally, our patience is often a little thinner, depending on how much leave you've had over the course of the year. I know a lot of people are really looking forward to taking a break. So often how we're showing up to some of the tension points that we're navigating through means that it can be trickier perhaps than normal. And I think what makes it hard at this time of year around managing your passive capacity and saying boundaries is the first one is about that we're not clear. We're not clear on what our priorities are. I think it's really important early to think about what you're going to say yes to and what you're going to say no to. It's a whole lot easier to say no at the beginning than to say yes, 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 and then kind of be staring down the barrel of a crazy week going, oh my gosh, I cannot do all of this. How am I going to unwind some of it? And then having to maybe have some awkward or uncomfortable conversations to say that you're not able to deliver or not able to attend events, or worse, attend them all and then end up kind of Friday or Saturday just completely exhausted, shattered, and then still having to limp on through. So I think we always talk about active confidence. Number one is get clear and make decisions. Our ability to be clear about what's important, what we're saying yes to, what we're saying no or not now to, is one of the critical things and a really useful thing to practice at this time of year.
Yeah, I think actually, in some ways, the overwhelm, the low resilience, the feeling like I've taken on too much can be a fantastic catalyst to examine what we'd like to do differently in the future. Because for many of us, it's not until we hit the crunch point, it's not until things get really tight, really difficult, we realize that we've overcommitted, that we start to unpack what's going on for us. And this is why it's important to start to understand our psychology and what's happening internally, because we know it's really hard to set, but even more difficult to enforce boundaries, which is why your understanding of what's going on for you, your knowledge of what your default behaviors are, when we enjoy people pleasing, when we enjoy being nice to people, when we are the first person to put up our hand to help, often we're unconscious that these are the very things that are meaning we can't do it all well. And it means that we are overburdened. We've got too much on our plate. And so starting to understand some of the fears that sit here, and they're often quite deep-seated. They're not obvious on the surface that that's what's going on. So it does take a little bit of practice, a bit of reflection, a bit of willing to get still and see what's happening, because it's natural that we want to fit in. We want to be liked. We want others to see us as a good contributor, as a good team player. And quite frankly, as girls, we've been rewarded from this since the time we were really small. When we were nice girls in the playground, when we were helpful, when we put our hand up, when we were the teacher's pet, all of the things we did that we got rewarded and recognized for, inbuilt neural pathways that said, this is how we get ahead, this is what we do. And so starting to unpack some of those, starting to understand that actually that may not be serving me well. That's when we start to get to the work of doing the shifts internally that mean we can better manage our capacity.
Yeah, I think the opportunity in the tension and the frustration is the lessons, the awareness raising. And all of these lessons, all of these insights in terms of your own mindset, what drives your behavior, the actions you take, the choices you make, will be playing out elsewhere in life, will be the source of other frustrations professionally and personally. So I think the opportunity at this time of year is to pay attention, be aware. Doesn't mean you need to take care of it, but just observe some of the stuff that's going on, pop them down in a journal so that you're able to come back to them. These pieces around people pleasing, perfectionism, saying yes, worrying about being judged, criticized for saying no. All of these things play out professionally and personally all year. It's just they're really heightened at this time of year. And so that's the work we do. These are things that clients really all focus on during the Acts of Confidence program. And so, that's the opportunity. We talk a lot about becoming your own best coach. It's a core philosophy of the program, so that in the moment you're able to navigate through, you're able to check in with yourself around what is most important to me. You're able to pay attention and be present to any of those old stories, those old default habits. A lot of this is habitual for us. Pay attention to those, be aware of those, understand the drivers of those, and then in the moment, not first time round, but start to be able to coach yourself through to take different actions and make different decisions and ultimately have a different experience when it comes to how you show up personally and professionally. We're going to leave it there. If you've enjoyed today's confidence conversation, we'd love for you to share your comments, reflections with anyone, tag them below. Head over to our YouTube channel if you want to find out more or tune into any more videos. We've got tons of content over there, tons of AOC client alumni stories talking about their journeys from self-doubt through to overcoming perfectionism, or the value and the freedom that comes with being clear. And if and when you're ready to go deeper with your relationship with Core Confidence, if you want to find out about the Acts of Confidence program, head over to our website, coreconfidence.com.au.